Good morning, welcome to Dog on the Plot. It's Sunday morning and it's the last day of June. The last day of June. I didn't know if I would put a video out this week. It has been a bit of a tumultuous week, both in my growing spaces and outside of them. And yeah, I didn't feel like I was particularly my usual jolly self. It turns out editing is a really good way of keeping the mind occupied. So I have ended up producing a video, and I had filmed some footage last weekend already, so I had stuff to share. But I was also, even then, feeling like it wasn't necessarily the sort of stuff that I'm trying to cultivate on the channel. It's, well, fair warning, it's ranty. Having said that, one of the things that I have tried to do with the channel is keep things real. This is not an aspirational channel, I don't think. It's very much a warts and all. I'm still very much finding my feet with this gardening malarkey, especially with the allotment plot, which was an awful lot to take on with a full-time job and my other responsibilities and the size of the garden that I have to manage. And just because I can't fit 50 pumpkins in a garden wasn't necessarily the reason to get an allotment plot. However, I thought I would share this and hope that it is reassuring or resonates with people in some way. I do get cheerier. Okay, so it starts out a little bit ranty. I do find, I always do, I mean we all always do, don't we? We can find some joy in the garden even when other things are going wrong or feeling like they're getting on top of us. So I'm going to send you back in time to a week ago, Saturday morning, on the plot, but then I'll meet you back here because there's a little bit more to do and I think I've got to make some decisions. Okay, so I shall see you in a little bit. Good morning, welcome to Dog on the Plot. It is Saturday morning. The sun is just trying to come out, but it's a little bit of a gloomy start. Oh, there it is. I was going to say that's a bit in keeping with my mood. So I came down here last night and just to water, and I thought, give those pumpkins a nice water because it had been a sunny day. And I left feeling pretty defeated, if I'm honest. I'd had a lovely day as well. I'd been to my nephew's sports day at the school, and that was really fun, and I even ran the parents' race. So I'd had a really lovely day, and I just thought, oh, I'll pop down to the plot, do a little bit of watering. And I got here, and I mean, the pumpkins are gone. They are gone. There is nothing left of them. I'm so glad I only put 4 out, because I got, as you saw last week, there are plenty more at home. They can be replaced, but those were the only baby boo I had from Danny and the only butterbush I had from Joe. So I'm not going to have that variety now this year. So that was disappointing. The slugs have also been eating at the stems of the tomatoes. The stems of the tomatoes. Then if that wasn't enough, when I got home, I noticed that my verbascum was looking particularly ropey, and it was covered in mullein moth, or mullein moth. I always say that wrong. Mullein moth caterpillars, and they were chomping away. So yeah, I felt, yeah, a little bit, well, I was pretty mardy, to be honest. I was pretty mardy last night. If you're not from the Midlands in the UK or up north, then mardy means grumpy, grumpy and sulky. So I wasn't in the best of moods last night. And I cheered myself up slightly by tying in the tomatoes, which are in the greenhouse and are looking fantastic. That was kind of a nice thing to do. And I also moved a lot of stuff out of the greenhouse because it's getting too hot in there now. So it's kind of dedicated to the heat-loving plants now, which felt a bit like a milestone. You know, we've moved in to that stage now where the greenhouse is for those crops rather than for propagation, although there are a lot of things that I still want to sow. Anyway, all that to say is that I've come down to the plot early this morning. So it's just gone 8 AM, and I am determined to get this plot into some sort of state that I can be happy with. I think the broad beans have got to come out. I'm sick of looking at those ropey broad beans. So I've took off everything I think that's going to come. So I'm going to get rid of those and I'm going to put different things in. I brought down brassicas. There's still some tomatoes down here and the tomatillos want to go in. So I thought if I plant some things, that'll make me feel better. And the other thing that would make me feel massive better, oh yeah, is finishing the greenhouse, but put a pin in that. It's just tidying. So I brought the strimmer down. It's a bit early to start strimming already. So I'll perhaps start with a little bit of weeding. The other thing I brought down is the Blooming Marvellous mulch, because I want to mulch around the tomatoes that are in the buckets so I can keep the moisture in those. I gave them a water yesterday though, and they're looking fine. But yeah, I just want to get on top of things a little bit more. So I'm kind of, well, I wanted to dedicate my whole day to this, but it is the first summer fete, first local summer fete of the year. I don't kind of want to miss that. So we will head down there at lunchtime, but then I'll be back on it. And yeah, let's see if we can whip this plot into some kind of order. That's the mission. Right, well, I was hoping to come back to you a little bit cheerier. There were some things that I found as I was going round which were nice. The cardoons have got flowers on them. That's incredible. I'm excited about that. And for the most part, the sweet corn is looking okay. I've got some great lettuces. That's that Bronze Beauty variety. You can't go wrong with that. If you need anything to cheer you up, sow some Bronze Beauty lettuce, because nothing seems to eat it, and it grows great. Anything else that was cheering? Oh, the rhubarb is kind of looking okay. One of the new ones that I put in, so that's all right. And I got a little bit strimmed, and it always looks better when it's a little bit strimmed. Well, it looks better when it's all strimmed, but battery ran out, as it does. So really only got round one bed, which is really frustrating. I shall take it home, put it on charge while I'm at the fete. But yeah, I'm mostly just still feeling discouraged. My cousin came over and I thought she was coming to cheer me up, but no, she was just kind of looked at it and was like, yeah, it's a mess. I'm glad I don't have to deal with it, and this isn't the kind of plot that I would want. And we lamented at length the problems of grass paths. It really is. I mean, there's the flooding that's the issue on the plot as well. And you know, there are still pockets of water around the plot. It's the unevenness because of the flooding. So the idea of having the moats that the previous tenant decided to do, which means I've got incredibly uneven plot, and I don't know if I caught it on the video, but continually falling down those moats. And then yeah, just the grass paths. They're just insane. And what my cousin was saying was that every time you come down here, you have to deal with the paths. Like, you want to be planting or even weeding. I would even weed, but you're not. You're just continually having to deal with the grass paths. And maybe for somebody who is retired or doesn't work, then that's fine. You have the time to do that. But I don't have the time to manage grass paths. That is the conclusion that I've come to at the end of the day, feeling frustrated, feeling annoyed, feeling, you know, I talk all the time about how much I love being here, and you know, I can just come and sit and enjoy being on the plot. And at the minute, it doesn't feel like that at all. I'm actually dreading coming down here at the moment, and I don't want that to be the case. So yeah, something has to be done, and that's what we were sort of discussing, what it is that we could do. And I think one of the things we can do is put down a load of black plastic, which is not the aesthetic I'm going for, and it doesn't really gel with sort of what I'm aiming for on the plot. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, as I was filming, managed to break the tripod for my gimbal. So now I'm on a little phone stand, which is why you're probably at a slightly funny angle. But just one thing to the next. Oh yeah, my onions are an absolute state. I don't even think it's worth growing them on. They look awful. The onions that I'd done from seed are getting eaten by slugs, but are okay. But the onion sets that I did in cells first and then put out, I think they were too long in the cells. They dried out too much. And I had read somewhere, like, how do you stop onions bolting? And the answer was, you take good care of them. I have not taken good care of these onions. They're not even close to bolting because they're not even growing. Right, now I've had a good moan. Sorry about that. I know I mean, to be fair, I tend to be fairly positive and jolly on the channel, so you've got to let me have a moan now and then, hey. But I have come up with one thing that I can perhaps do that could make a difference, sort of. Please forgive any shakiness, because as I said, I've broken the gimbal. But so this is the very end bed right by the shed, and this is destined for pumpkins. This has been covered with cardboard, and it's got grass clippings on top. And then this section of it, which is a very floody, very weedy section, I've just trimmed. I've taken the broad beans out of this bed. This has just got bolted rocket in. This has got my lovely lettuce in, which I don't really want to lose. But what I'm thinking about for this area is that maybe I take these out, move them elsewhere, take out the slate bed. The garlic can be harvested now anyway, move my potato buckets, and then continue the cardboard all the way to the edge here, and just extend this, cover up all this weedy area, and then the pumpkins can grow right over to this edge. What do you think? I've got some cardboard. I've got cardboard here. I think I might do that. I think that might make me feel better. The other thing we were talking about is that the grass paths take up so much space on the plot. There's so much growing space that it's just taken up with blooming paths. Sorry, going ranty again. Let me show you some good stuff. So next to the munched pumpkins, we do have an absolutely beautiful Australian tree cabbage. This one bolted a little bit. I didn't get to take all the seed heads off quickly enough, or the flower heads, but this one has been fine. And oh, the leaves are so beautiful on these Australian tree cabbages. The field beans are doing great, so maybe I should just grow cover crops from now on. Looking forward to trying those in comparison to the broad beans. And the Charlotte potatoes are doing well as well. These are growing in the wood chip. They're doing much better than the first earlies in the wood chip, which have been slugged. You can see the slime on them, but just never really grew very much foliage. It'll be interesting to see what the situation is beneath the wood chip. Maybe we'll pull some a little bit later. But what I have learnt today as well, Jim was on his plot, and I was kind of weeding this section. You saw me doing that. And it turns out that this, what Jim calls the path, not sure it's particularly a path, is his. And my boundary starts here. So I don't have to deal with these weeds. They are Jim's weeds. But you wouldn't know it because, as I've said many times before, no boundaries on the plot. But you know what? I'm at the point where I'm just thinking, screw that rule. And I'm going to put something along here that says, those are Jim's weeds. This is my bed. Oh, bless him. He has been good to me, but I still don't want to pull his weeds. Okay, so let's get some cardboard and have a go at that section at the back. There we go. That's made a difference. Look at those lettuces. Oh dear, perhaps I should have just left the box around those. Oh well, done it now. Right, I'm late for the fete and filthy, so I better get home and clean up, and I'll catch you down there. I'm back at the plot. I'm without microphone, so I'm trying to project because now that's decided to break. It really is turning out to be one of those days. But I've brought the strummer back down. It's charged, well, charged enough in the time that I had. So I'm going to have another go at the grass paths. I've just been moving the lettuces that were in that raised bed, so I'm just going to pop those elsewhere. They'll probably immediately die, but I thought I would just clear this area, get it cardboarded, and I think I'll feel a little bit better from that. So I haven't got much charge on the phone either, because I forgot to charge that when I was charging the strimmer. So I'm just going to get on with it basically, and perhaps when I come back to you I'll be a little bit more positive. Right, well that's over. All of like 10 minutes since I just left you. Ran out of string. Really, anything that can go wrong is going wrong. Am I being over dramatic? I don't know. It feels like one of those days where if you just keep pushing, you're going to have some kind of serious accident because it's just not your day. Anyway, I'm going to put this away and get on with laying this cardboard, because surely laying cardboard, pulling tape off of cardboard and laying it down, nothing can go wrong with that, can it? Famous last words, hey? Okay, come on. Okay, it's just gone 6 o'clock. The sun is really strong. I've made some progress, so I have mostly cardboarded, and I also started cardboarding over there. Not too bad, didn't hurt myself, although these were my colleagues. It was the packaging of a sofa for her garden. Those sheets of cardboard were huge and yeah, a little difficult to maneuver. Glad I wasn't filming. Anyway, I got distracted and look what I've done. I've made myself a cute little fence. How cool is that? I mean, clearly it's just broken, rotten wood, but I think it looks nice. It looks particularly nice with the sweet peas there. Put the sweet peas against the fence. Oh, cottage garden. Kind of. So these fence panels were from my sister Mark's garden, and he'd ripped them up and they were going to go to the tip, and he's like, do you want these? And I was like, sure, I'm sure I can do something with those. So I've put them there. Now they do create a border, and as we've said many times, not allowed boundaries or fences on boundaries on the plot. But if I get questioned, the raspberries are there, so I'm going to say they're raspberry supports, which they will be when the raspberries eventually grow. But in the meantime, it's just a cute little border between me and my plot neighbour. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Beginning to cheer up, and I can even see a flower on a tomato, so that's quite cheering. The lettuce looks okay in its little new home in the drawers. Yeah. And everything looks a little bit neater now it's trimmed, or half trimmed anyway. Yeah, feeling a little bit better. No, don't look over there. Let's not look over there. Okay. Right. I'm on a bit of a roll. Let's finish doing the cardboard for that section. And what else could I do? I could probably do some watering, couldn't I? It's Sunday morning, and I've decided to take a break from the plot today. Maybe we'll go down a little bit later, we'll see. I'm going to go for a nice walk instead. But I've just been picking tayberries and loganberries for breakfast, strawberries we've already got, and I just thought I would check on the blueberries that I moved into a sunnier position last week and have a look. They've got ripe blueberries. Okay, and this one. Oh, there's loads just there, look. Take these ones. Oh, wow. Liam doesn't like blueberries, so I'll just pick a few and they'll just go onto my breakfast, making sourdough waffles. Oh, there we go. Oh. Let's see what varieties they were. Gold Torb 71. And the other one, Bagata Blue. So they must be the earlier varieties. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, what about the currants? They're on the other side of the veg patch. Oh gosh, that comfrey's gone a bit mad. These are not the sterile comfrey, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful with this. But here are the currants. Oh my goodness, look! Those are the white currants. Oh, they look amazing. Are they ready? Oh no, I dropped a blueberry. Oh yeah, they feel ready. Definitely. Oh, and there's so many. Look at all them. Let me find the blueberry. Where did you go, blueberry? Where did he go? No, they're so precious. Oh, I found it. Went all the way over there. Come here. You're all good. You're all good. Oh, I dropped it again. Right, put those in the pocket while I grab some of these. Look how many there are. So this is obviously white currant, and I bought this as a bigger little bush, and so it is a good producer. Right, they can go on breakfast too. Oh my goodness! Yes, we've got black currants as well. Now this is a young bush and has been moved several times, but they look amazing. Okay, I'm going to try some of those as well. There's also a red currant in here somewhere, but oh my goodness! Oh, I had no idea they were under here. Oh wow, look at the size of them. Those are ribena berries. My goodness. Oh, they might need a little bit longer. Let's just give that one a little squeeze. Oh, and there's more here. Yes. Oh, well, this is a nice antidote to yesterday. Let's try it. Oh, I really love currants. Really love currants. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I'm so pleased. The ones on the allotment, as with everything on the allotment, aren't doing great. Makes me think, why should I have just stuck to the home garden? I mean, things seem to be doing well in here now. But I've been cultivating this home garden for the last 3 years, or 4 years now, and the allotment only the last year. So perhaps that's the lesson to be learned. These things take time. Right, I'm also going to cut some sweet peas to take inside because the scent as I'm standing here is just incredible. Check out the length of those stems. I don't think I've ever grown sweet peas with stems that long before. Oh my God, that's incredible. Ah, so a good year for berries and a good year for sweet peas perhaps. Right, breakfast. Welcome back. So we're a full week after that walk, and I said to Liam while we were there, that's exactly what I needed. That walk was exactly what I needed. When we walked into the woods, something about the fragrance of being in the woods, that woodland smell, the fresh air, I don't know, is it the increased oxygen? Who can tell? But I think it was also that I was in this natural space, and
none of it was my responsibility. It was like I could just be there and enjoy it and not think that I have to cultivate that space in any way. So yeah, it was definitely much needed to take a bit of time away from the plot and reset a little bit. The plot has sort of come into its own this week in terms of being somewhere that I could go for solace and for activity, to just keep myself kind of occupied. So all that moaning that I was doing about the strimming, turns out I have strimmed every night this week almost. Like, I have been down there strimming. The plot is almost completely strimmed. And I bought another battery, because part of the problem is you can only get so far around the plot before the battery gives up or the string runs out, whatever it might be. So I have purchased a second battery, and actually it was cheaper to buy a drill with a battery than to buy a separate battery. So I also now have a new Black & Decker drill. Maybe I will actually drill the raised beds together at the plot rather than just be propping them up with bricks. So the plot is looking quite a lot better, as is the home garden. I've spent some time sort of trying to tidy up the home garden a little bit. I've done some nice things like harvest most of my garlic, but I've still got some in there, which is like what I feel is going to be the best garlic. So I'm holding out to share that one with you. Today I'm going to take as much as I can down to the plot. While the gate is open, I can just drive in and out. I'm going to do a few trips and just take everything, all the squash, all the brassicas, the bits of flowers that I want on the plot, because I've got nasturtiums, I've got borage and things like that, which would be great. Marigolds around the tomatoes, all of those things I want to get down to the plot so that they're there and I can just plant up as and when I'm down there, without having to think I've got to carry this down, then this down. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. I'm going to blitz taking everything down to the plot, and then hopefully get quite a lot planted out over the next 2 weeks, because I've now got 2 weeks of annual leave. Yes. Yes, I'm not really going anywhere. I've got a little spa break booked. I always have this 2 weeks off because it's Wimbledon fortnight, so happy Wimbledon. And I intend to watch a lot of Wimbledon, plant out of the plot, and take a little time for some self-care. So I'm not going to release a video next week. I've made that decision. Make it sound very serious. No, I'm just going to have a week off. But it will be nice, I think, to take a step back. The last time I had a week off work over the Easter break, you might remember I released 12 videos in 12 days, and I'm rather burnt out on that. It wasn't the best of ideas, to be honest. It was great fun, and I so appreciate all of you who came to the premieres every day at 12 noon. And actually putting together the videos and doing all the stuff was really fun. But I got that cold. Suddenly I was having my roof done, and it all got a little bit much. And of course, as soon as I finished the 12 days, I was back to work, and it was quite stressful at work as well. So so yeah, I think I burnt out when I did that. So I'm not doing that again. If any of you are hoping for that, I'm sorry. Never again. If I ever do suggest it, I need people to tell me, no, Kerry, don't do that. So instead, I'm doing the exact opposite for this batch of annual leave, and I am just going to take a break. I will be filming because I hope that I'm going to be getting lots done on the plot, and I have a special project that I want to do in the garden, and I want to share that with you. But I think I'll do the filming, but then I'll actually put the videos together after I've had my little break. Okay, so I'm off to the plot. I hope you have a really productive, nice couple of weeks, and I'll see you on the other side of it, I hope, with lots and lots to show. Take care.